G'day folks, Links here, and welcome back to a new episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. So we're going to finish off our infrastructure upgrades with a couple of things. So we're going to, we're going to replace the blast furnace quads with Volcani. So as part of that, we're actually going to move them to a new platform over here. Now, what I have done is I've just sort of laid out the space for the Volcani quads, and this little space here I've basically just carved out an area here which will be for AE stuff. So in the beginning I'm just going to mimic the setup we have over there. So this will be an ME interface feeding the Volcani each quad with standard patterns, but once we get into LUV and we unlock the advanced stocking input bus, then I'll redesign this to be a bit more streamlined. But for now, I just want the speed. I just want the speed and efficiency of Volcani. So I've crafted up 1 quad's worth, and I've crafted up the coils for it. We're going to run it at LUV, so each one will have 2 energy hatches, and in theory, all I should need to do is just get the power and AE stuff set up, and then we should be good. So one thing I'm going to start doing soon, but probably not for this setup, is instead of using AE P2P, I'm probably going to start spamming wireless controllers instead, just simply because I'm not too concerned about the power. I'm not as concerned about the power consumption now, with the fact that I can... with the fact that I now have the LSC and I have 16 amps of LUV power now being generated. So that is, I moved all the turbines over here. Obviously these turbines are still here, but if you notice all their dynamo hatches are missing, I just need to tear them down and then figure out what to do with this space. Because what I've decided is I want all the power generation on this side and all the fuel production, whether it be nitrobenzene or if I start using plasma for power, there'll be a plasma setup, whatever, on this side. And the reason being is that I've actually split the power lines. So this power line is input and goes all the way down to the LSC and into an energy hatch. And there's 16 amps of LUV on this line right now. And this is output from the LSC. And the reason that I wanted to do that was so that I could backfeed this setup from the LSC. Because I found that when I had this battery buffer and the LSC both hooked up to this group of turbines, it was prioritizing charging the LSC first, which means that this battery buffer would run out and then all of this would power fail. I'm still, even though the battery buffer is now being fed by the LSC, I'm still going to keep the battery buffer as just kind of an emergency power buffer for this setup, at least for now. So all the power generation is now on this side. I've torn down most of the old benzene setup. I'm just keeping these for the moment. They are now set to extract only, and the DTs are not producing any outputs anymore. So these tanks will eventually empty, and then when they do, I'll just tear the setup down. The biomass setup we're going to leave alone for now, and these are completely disconnected and unused, but we're just going to leave them alone for now. So basically, when I get these out of here, all that'll be left is these vacuum freezers, and then when we get to LUV, I'll replace these vacuum freezers with a mega vacuum freezer running at LUV. I'm not bothering with universal for the Volcani. I will just go down the advanced stocking input bus route once we get it. I am really happy with universal for things like LCRs and mixers, but I don't necessarily see the point in doing it for the Volcani when we can just use advanced stocking input buses. There's not that many. There's not as many circuits for blast furnaces as there is for things like chemical reactors and mixers. So I think we'll just go with the advanced stocking input bus once we get it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ME P2P set up and actually try and figure out how I want to do it. I'll probably just bring it. But yeah, I'm going to get the ME P2P set up and get basically everything positioned, and then we'll go through it and get these Volcani built. I'm also going to refine the because the way this works is that the blast furnaces output to a conduit. They output to a conduit, and hot ingots. This has a priority of 1, and it only accepts hot ingots, and that's how I've been getting hot ingots from the blast furnaces into the vacuum freezers. And basically anything that's not a hot ingot just goes straight back into the interface. There's 2 reasons I did that. First of all, this is before I had ME output buses, or before I had a large scale ME network where I was using ME output buses everywhere. The other reason is that I actually I can't remember the other reason. But yeah, basically it was before I was doing AE the way that I am now. But the other reason we need to deal with it is because obviously the Volcani are going to be over there now. So the things making hot ingots are going to be all the way over there. So all we're going to do is we're just going to shove an ME export bus on here with a OR dictionary card, which will export all hot ingots into the vacuum freezers. But for now, I'll get the first quad set up, and then hopefully once I get the first quad set up, because they are quite resource intensive to make, especially on ABS materials, and this has been a big bottleneck to making Volcani. We will be dealing with this, but I'll deal with it off camera. Basically, I am going to do a universal setup with ABS. I will probably run 4 IV ones. This one's currently running at LUV, which is 4 amps of IV, but I will get higher throughput if I run 4 of these at IV rather than overclocking to LUV, rather than overclocking 1 to LUV. So I will do a universal ABS off camera, because that has been a pain point. But otherwise, the other thing that they just need a lot of to make is blast furnace materials, things like tungsten steel, etc. And they take a really long time. So hopefully after I've made the first quad, the next ones will be faster. So, I'll be able to craft up the next ones faster. So I'm going to go away and get the platform ready, and we'll get our first quad built and get everything set up. And I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Right, and we're back. So I've got all the AE. I've got everything almost hooked up. So basically, we will do. So I just kind of wanted to build it on camera. It's a new multi-block. It is built the same way as the EBF, with the exception of obviously it needs the extra pyrotheum hatches. So basically, assuming I actually did my math right, I should have made enough coils. Oh yeah, I made 9 too many. So basically, the way we're going to do this is we're going to do inputs into the bottom. We're going to do fluid input into the bottom and pyrotheum input into the bottom. So we're doing basically just a quad input hatch, and we're just going to input helium, oxygen, and nitrogen for now. And then we've always got a fourth slot free if we need a 4th slot. And then we're using ME interfaces, which will be completely stocked with blazing pyrotheum to feed the pyrotheum heating vent. A HV pump should be fine. These only consume 10 liters per second each, so 20 and 20. So the HP pump should be more than fine. I think it's per second. It's not, I don't think it's per tick. That would feel pretty, yeah, per second during operation. So, and then what we're going to do for the top layer is we're going to do an input bus. So for now, we'll just use a HV input bus. And then later on, we'll replace it with a stocking, with the advanced stocking input bus. And what I will probably do is put something like, I don't know what I want to do, because I think I am starting to run a bit low on pattern space I'm running a bit low on pattern space in this one, which is a bit problematic. So I might have to actually put something else, like a maybe an ingredient buffer on it, so then I can just put a load of flat interfaces against it or something. But we'll see. So we then just need mufflers. So we just need 4 mufflers, and then hopefully, and then basically we just need a output bus, ME output bus, but I don't quite know where that's going to go, because actually it could. Oh, actually no, it could just go here, couldn't it? Because that one will be shared between these two, and this one will be shared between. So I think I can get rid of that Volcanus casing and get rid of that one and put the output buses. Oh wow, I actually thought I had some spare, but apparently not. It doesn't matter though, everything's fairly quick to craft, hopefully. It needs to craft titanium, so that's probably gonna, yeah, that's gonna be, how many is it making? It's because I've got it making 16. So I made all the patterns bigger to take advantage of the parallels in this. So I'm gonna have to wait for it to do that, but that's fine. So we'll do muffler on there and one there, and then realistically I think this should be the only thing that we need on top. And if I understand it, what we should actually want to do is that. So set the ghost slot to 11 and then grab a circuit if we have one, which we do, and set this to 1 and put that in there. Turn off auto sort and then put that in there. And if I understand correctly, this should take priority when the block does its recipe check. This should take priority, and then this. So the circuit 11 recipe, because almost everything that I'm fairly sure it's everything, but everything I've seen anyway, that has a circuit 11 recipe with like hydrogen or helium or whatever, also has a circuit 1 recipe without the gas, which takes a lot longer. But in theory, we should actually be able to test it fairly easily enough. We should be able to easily enough test it. So what I should hopefully be able to do now is just fill this up. And then we should be... So although the texture update has completed, obviously the structure is still incomplete because we made the holes there. So I think what I need to do is, have I at least got... Oh, the titanium didn't take as long as I thought it would. How fast do these go now? Oh, it's 5.1 seconds per ingot. Okay. Yeah, so, and then for power, we're just, this is 16 amps of IV per quad. So it's using a high amp transformer. But in theory, once I get the... So what we'll do is we will... I do have a spare ingredient buffer. So I think what we'll do is, although these can't hold that much, I don't think. Yeah, they can only hold that. So maybe I need to buffer it with like a chest or something. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. Stuff will only end up in here. Yeah, stuff will only end up in here if the hatch is full, if the bus is full. So we just have to make sure, and none of my EBF patterns will actually fill the bus. So we should be good. So what I need is a conveyor. So we basically just want, I think we might actually do we might do an IV conveyor if I have the materials, which it looks like I do. So yeah, I am very happy that one of the things I'm very happy about with this is how fast it makes, well, not that, is how fast it makes graphene. So it makes oh, there we go, there we go. Right. So it's, basically it makes 256 graphene in 40 seconds, which I quite like. But if we grab this, so if we just grab 2 of those, for some reason I thought it was crafting 16 of those. I don't know why it was, I thought the pattern was 16, but apparently not. So if we just put that on there, and that on there, I'm probably just going to get rid of this cable. Well, actually, I don't have to get rid of that one. And then this one is just, yeah, let's just get rid of you. Then we can do that, and then we can put it back. No, not that. And then we can put it back. So now we should actually have complete Volcani. Yay! Have they actually, one thing I'm curious about, have they updated the, yeah, I think, because I think the tooltip used to say that you couldn't share the maintenance hatch between multi-blocks, but you have been able to for a little while. So basically you just need to right-click it. Just right-click it equal to the amount of times that you need to do the maintenance. So in this case, we need to do it 2 times because it's shared between 2 multi-blocks. So, in theory, what I should be able to do is plug this up. So I think that might actually be it. It's got power. I just need to hook up the AE stuff. So what we'll do is, for now, we'll just do a really basic setup of grab the, because all this AE stuff is going to get replaced once I get advanced stocking input buses. So for now, we'll just do that. And as soon as these connect, there we go. So it's filling up with blazing pyrotheum. And if you remember, we are passively making that over here. So we have a mixer, which is just using a stocking input bus to bring in the ingredients. And then we're extracting it into a fluid, and we're just putting it into a storage cell. So that's full. 128 buckets. And then I actually can't get to the, and then we are only putting helium in, apparently. Why are we, I feel like I've had this problem before. Oh, actually, yeah, I have had this problem before. We need to use an export bus, not an interface. So if we just get rid of that, and get rid of that, and take the pump off, if it'll let me. Yeah. If we use an the pump for some reason won't bring it in properly. That might be why I used conduits before. So if we just get a fluid export bus and shove it on there, just put hydrogen in. We will need a capacity card, not that either. 1 capacity card should do it. Yep. And then we need helium and oxygen. So for whatever reason, the pump doesn't like pulling the multiple fluids in for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, that's properly hooked up now, so we can actually put you back. And in theory, if I just get it all turned on. So what we'll do is we need the conveyor, if I've got one. Still crafting the IV conveyor. Oh, because it's still making tungsten ingots because of the batch size that I have on the motors. An EV one's probably fine. One stack every 1/5 of a second is probably fine. So we'll just shove that on there. What the? Oh yeah, because it's set to export. That's I forgot about that. In GTNH, machines can just throw stuff out into the world or items out into the world. So if you have a machine set to auto output and it's not, and the output side isn't attached to an inventory or whatever, it'll just throw the items into the world. And by default, conveyors start in export mode by default. So what I should be able to do, so this is only, how many channels is this? This is 5 channels, which isn't going to be, which wouldn't be enough to actually fully cover this in flat interfaces, but I don't think we're going to need that many. I think realistically I'm just going to need like 1. So if I do ME interface, if I just grab a flat interface, which hopefully shouldn't take too long. Yes, it will, because it wants titanium. And I don't think I have any spare flat interfaces anywhere, or any spare interface. I guess I could borrow one of those. So what I'll do is I will wait for the autocrafts to complete, and then we'll come back and get this finally set up, because it would be nice to see if I've got the circuit priority stuff correct, and it would also just be nice to see how fast it is compared to my setup over there. So we will, and then I think we do need to build out a second one, to build out a second quad, so then I can replace this one. And what I'll do is I'll take the coils off this one to use in the second quad, and we need to improve the vacuum freezer stuff. So so there's only 10 ingots left to go. So yeah, so I'll come back in a couple of minutes once the autocrafts are finished, and we'll get this baby firing and see if everything works. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. Right, and we are back. So everything's prepared. I've actually transferred all the patterns over from the old EBF quad from this one. I've also disconnected the vacuum freezers from the Ender IO conduits, and we are now using an export bus with a type filter just set to ingot hot star. I did put an acceleration card in there, but I actually don't think that's going to be necessary. So we should, and then this input bus has circuit 11 in the ghost slot, circuit 1 in the last slot, and then the yttrium oxide bus for the zirconia, for, what is it, flawless zirconia or whatever it is. Flawed cubic zirconia. There's only 2 recipes that use it, one of which we actually don't, one of which we're not too fussed about. So basically we should be good to request a craft. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove so what we're going to do is we're going to request a craft of something, so ideally something that is not particularly time consuming. Oh no, it's hot titanium ingot, isn't it? There we go. So we make them from titanium dust, which means we should be able to use helium. So what I want to do is I'm going to remove helium from the export bus. And if the circuit priority stuff has worked as I hope, what we should see is that helium still gets consumed from this input bus. Oh, we need to actually power it. There. So what should happen now is it should just all work, I guess. I'm hoping it does. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. Oh, power loss. Why? What have I not done? Everything is... Oh, have I? Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, well, let's do that again. Or let's turn them back on. Ah, did it consume the helium, though? Yes, it did. So the circuit priority stuff is actually working as we want it to. We're going to turn them back on anyway. I'm being so dumb today. Right, let's fix that. Right, so that's on, apparently. Turn that one back on, and that one. So it's running 8, so these run 8 parallels. And if you look at that, we're getting a fairly decent, because the titanium recipe from Titanium Dust it's Camphel. So, and it's like barely Camphel, I think. 1940. So we're getting a few perfect overclocks and energy discounts because of our coil tier. And also the Volcani use 20% less energy. So that's actually awesome. I mean, yes, it is taking 51 seconds, but it's doing 8 in 51 seconds. I believe that's actually because of batch mode. But basically what this means is it will do a stack of titanium in about just under 2 minutes, like 100 seconds. It'll do a stack of titanium, which is pretty good. Definitely faster than that. Definitely faster than that, because I think that was about 5.1 seconds per ingot in the other blast furnace. Actually, we can just test that. Let's see what the other blast furnaces were doing. So if I just grab even just... I don't even need 4, to be honest. And if I just manually put them in, what do we get? Yeah, so that's 5.1 seconds per ingot. So to do 10, so it'd be 10? Yeah, that's 5.1 seconds per ingot. So it'd be 51 seconds to do 10 ingots. This is doing 50. I'm actually a bit confused. Is it batch mode? Let's turn off batch mode. I don't think that's it, though. Because this is supposed to be faster. But I'm not sure if it is. But we know the circuit priority stuff is working, so we can actually shove the helium. I think I'm just failing to math. I think that's what the problem is. So that's running at LUV. This is running at LUV and is doing 1 titanium ingot every 5.1 seconds. So in theory, that's 51 seconds to do 10 ingots. Whereas this is doing 8 ingots in 51 seconds. But it is doing it at half the energy. So that is, I guess that's... So if we just shove like one... yeah, if we just shove... actually shove 4 in, because I don't know which blast furnace is actually going to turn on. Because I'm fairly sure this will be using nearly an LUV amp. So, where is it? Yeah, so that's 23,000. That's 23,000 EU. This was doing it in like 11,000. So if we just shove another 60, or if we just shove another 64 in. Oh, that's intriguing. We've not got them back. Why not? Is there something up with the vacuum freezer setup? Oh, recipe found, none found. That's really weird. Do we have a hot ingot in the network? Hot titanium. Oh, no, it'll be from the power fail. That's it. I just need to cancel the craft. It'll be from the power fail. So if we just try again and actually run over here. So yeah, half the... Oh no, there we go, 36 seconds. So it was batch mode. It was actually batch mode making them slower. So turning off batch mode has now reduced it to 36 seconds. Yeah, 36 seconds. So there we go. These are now significantly faster. These are now producing a stack of titanium significantly faster than the other stuff, which is awesome. I'm curious though as to whether these don't... Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There. They just seemed a bit... Well, actually, I just probably underestimated how long 36 seconds is. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. We've replaced our blast furnaces with Volcani. These things are significantly faster than our EBFs, and this is going to speed stuff up quite a lot. I will build the second... I will probably build the second quad off camera, maybe. Because of the fact that it is getting a bit late. I'm a bit late in recording this today. And the actual controllers take a long time to craft because of the number of circuits they need. Because they need, I think I need 16 ZPM circuits for 4 controllers. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm actually extremely happy with this. And now that I've got the circuit 1 and 11 stuff working in the same quad, the second quad can just be for bulls and a couple of other things. So, I think what we'll do is I just want to see. Let's test something that actually I know actually takes a wee bit longer. Let's do tungsten steel, because this thing's a bit annoying with how long it takes. Oh, actually, what I can do is, because I do have some circuit 1 stuff in here. So steel. So we can take these and we can actually shove them in here now. Although we're not going to have enough room for all of them. So I'm going to have to make a second interface. Oh. So if we grab that, and then it should be good. When it hurries up. Yep. So now I won't have to worry about getting upset when I see a crafting recipe wants to craft something in the blast furnace. But these are also just a lot more energy efficient. We can now we can do more work now. We can do more work now with a lower power footprint. Because, it was using, like, to do the titanium, it was using like half the power in here than it was in there. Which is intriguing because they're supposed to be like 80% or something. Where are we? 80%. Yeah, EU usage 90%. So I'm not quite sure how that math works out. Although these do also have batch mode. No, these don't have batch mode turned on. That is actually something that has changed in 2.8. I'm not sure if it's in beta 2 or if it came in one of the dailies after beta 2. Batch mode is now enabled by default when you place new multi-blocks. So if you don't want it on, then you do have to turn it off. But in most cases, it's not really a problem. I assume the reason they probably set it on by default is for performance reasons, because I think that's the whole reason batch mode exists, is to help mitigate performance issues, because I think it delays the recipe check by 100 ticks or something. and tries to batch recipes together or something like that. Right, so let's do something that actually was unfun to wait for. Let's do rhodium plated palladium. This was very unfun to wait for, simply because of how long it takes. So I think in the old blast furnace it was taking, what was it? So I was running it with helium. Yeah, so this was taking, I think this was taking like 70 odd seconds. It's with overclocks and higher tier coils. I think in the other blast furnace quad it was taking like 70 odd seconds per ingot or something. So it will be interesting to see, because we'll be needing a lot of this in LUV. So let's just set that going and see what happens. Oh, look at that. 46 seconds to do... it'll do 8 ingots in 46 seconds. That's awesome. Actually, the... Oh no, the bottleneck. I think I might need an acceleration card in here as well, maybe. Maybe not. But yeah, that's awesome. And again, it's consuming a lot less power to do it. So that's actually really awesome. So yeah, I'm quite happy now that we've got this. I don't know why the muffler hatches don't output particles. It feels weird. I swear they're supposed to. But yeah, I'm really happy now that we've got this. I just need to get the one for bulls and stuff set up. And then we should be good. But in the meantime, I think I might call this episode here. I know it's been potentially a bit of a nothing episode. But this is probably the last major... This is the last major upgrade before we go back to progression, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have a down day tomorrow and just sort some stuff out off camera and actually figure out where progression, where we go next in terms of progression. I think the next thing is just going to be the tier 3 rocket. So I think realistically what I'll probably do tomorrow is maybe build the rocket fuel setup, because I need to build a new rocket fuel. So I might do rocket fuel tomorrow. I may end up recording tomorrow, I don't know. But I will... But if I don't, then I will still be doing stuff, but it will be just getting ready for the next step in progression, and probably just some pottering around optimizing, doing some optimizations and maybe moving some more magic stuff into this dimension. But yeah, so if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate that this may not necessarily been the most interesting of episodes, but I am really happy that I've got this set up. So this is going to make a huge difference in how long it actually takes me to get stuff done now, especially once I get more of them set up. But for now, I think if actually I say tier 3 rocket, can we get the assembly line without the tier 3 rocket? Let's have a look. I think we can. I don't think we need the tier 3 rocket to actually get the... I'm just going to zoom that out really far, hopefully, so it doesn't annoy you while I look at this. It's great machine casings, solid steel machine casings. What's this? Assembly line casing. This is just IV stuff. So we actually can... It looks like we can get the assembly line. So the assembly line is what's effectively gating LUV. We do need some other stuff. Samarium is definitely something we need. Because I need it to make advanced SMD inductors. So I still can't make the more advanced recipes for certain circuits because they need advanced SMD inductors, which need samarium. And also... but I think otherwise, I actually have all the materials for LUV to get into LUV, and we're just gated by the assembly line. So I will have a think. I'll have a think about where I want to go with progression, but most likely it's going to be the tier 3 rocket. It's most likely going to be tier 3 rocket is the next thing we get, because we haven't been to a new planet in a while. So anyway, again, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and hopefully we can get into some interesting progression in the next few episodes. Right, have a good one, everyone.